Me and Lorenzo go back to when we was both coming up in this industry, different sides of the same street though. We used to work the same circuits, different venues but same streets, you feel me? I'd be handling door drama at the clubs. He was already moving different, quieter, smarter, thinking 3 steps ahead while I was dealing with drunk idiots trying to fight the bouncer. He ended up going deep into executive protection, built a whole career as a driver for LA Elite. And when I say elite, I mean the kind of clients who don't want their names in the press, if you know what I mean. The ones who do business in the shadows. This man has seen things most security professionals never will in their entire careers, and the difference between club security and executive protection. In the club, you see the threat coming from across the room. In a car doing 80 on the freeway, you're already in the kill zone before you even know what's happening to you. When I tell you this man has stories, I mean it. The one he's about to share, this is the kind of night that changes how you see the whole job, changes what you think you know about protection work. Lorenzo Banks, what's good, brother?
What's good, Jay? Man, it's been a minute since we chopped it up like this. Appreciate you having me through.
No doubt, no doubt. So look, I want to jump right into this story because people need to hear what really goes down in executive protection, not the Hollywood version.
Yeah, the Hollywood version don't show you what it feels like when you realize the black SUV following you ain't paparazzi. It's something way worse than that.
Set the scene for me real quick. Where are we? What time? What's the situation looking like before everything goes sideways?
It's 2:47 in the morning. I remember the exact time because I looked at the dash clock right before everything popped off. I'm northbound on the 405, got this B-list rapper in the back seat scrolling through his phone, not paying attention to nothing around him.
That's when the Escalade shows up, right? How'd you first notice something was off with that vehicle?
Black Escalade pulls alongside us in the next lane. Brand new, tinted windows so dark you can't see nothing inside. But here's the thing, it don't pass us. It just matches our speed exactly. Like they're shadowing us.
That's when you know it's a problem, when they're not trying to pass, just staying right there with you. What's going through your head in that moment?
I'm doing the math real quick, checking all my mirrors, looking for other vehicles that might be part of this. Then I see the rear window on that Escalade start rolling down, and my whole body just goes cold, because I know exactly what's about to happen next.
You got what, like 2 seconds maybe to make a decision that's going to determine if everybody lives or dies?
Less than that. More like 1 second to decide if I'm going to save this man's life or become another statistic on the freeway. And my client, he's in the back seat, still on his phone, completely oblivious to what's happening, don't even know the people he took money from 6 months ago just found him.
Hold up. Before we get into what happened next, I need you to take me back to the beginning of this whole thing. How does somebody go from working regular security to driving for LA's Elite in the first place?
Man, I started doing security at venues in Hollywood. You know how that goes. Checking IDs, breaking up fights, the usual door work that we both came up doing.
Yeah, I know that grind. That's where you learn if you really built for this work or if you're just looking for a paycheck.
Exactly. And I started noticing how the real money moved through these places. It wasn't the club owners or the promoters. It was the people coming through as guests. The ones who showed up in the luxury cars with their own security already.
So you saw where the actual power was at and decided that's the direction you wanted to move in?
Yeah, but it wasn't like I planned it out or nothing. I got recruited by LA Elite after I handled a situation with this drunk tech CEO who was getting real aggressive with the staff, putting his hands on people.
What happened with that situation? Because I know tech money can be different. Those dudes think their bank account makes them untouchable.
This dude was worth probably $100 million, maybe more, and he's grabbing on servers, knocking over drinks, just wilding out. His regular driver couldn't control him, didn't even try to step in, just stood there looking scared.
See, that's the difference right there. Some people in this industry don't want the confrontation, they just want to collect a check and go home. So what did you do?
I walked up to him, calm, got real close, and told him he had 2 choices. Leave right now under his own power, or leave in an ambulance after I put him down. Made it real simple for him to understand.
And he chose option 1, I'm guessing, because rich dudes like that usually fold when somebody actually stands up to them for real.
Yeah, he sobered up real quick. Let me escort him out to his car without any more problems. But here's the thing. His regular driver saw how I handled it and told his company about me. Said they needed people who could actually control these high-value clients when they get out of pocket.
That's how you got in with LA Elite then, off that one situation showing you could handle yourself under pressure?
Exactly. They called me the next week, brought me in for an interview, and I've been with them ever since. That was 7 years ago now.
So when you say executive protection, most people hear that and think bodyguards, big dudes in suits standing around looking mean. But the driver position is different, right? Break that down for people who don't understand the role.
The driver is everything, man. You're the first line of defense and the last line of defense at the same time. You're mobile, which means you're vulnerable, and you're responsible for everything that happens in that vehicle from the moment they get in until the moment they get out.
So it's not just about knowing how to drive, it's about threat assessment, route planning, knowing when something don't look right before it becomes a problem.
That's 90% of the job right there. Reading situations, trusting your gut when something feels off. The actual driving, the evasive maneuvers, that's only if everything else already failed and you're in crisis mode trying to survive.
What kind of clients are we talking about here? Because I know you can't name names, but paint the picture of who's paying for this level of protection.
Music industry people for sure. Rappers, producers, label executives who made enemies on their way up. Tech money coming out to LA trying to break into entertainment. Foreign investors who do business that don't never make it to actual contracts, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The kind of business where everybody's word is supposed to be their bond, but there ain't no paperwork to prove nothing.
Right, and you learn real quick in this job. Everyone's got secrets they're trying to keep buried, everyone's got enemies they made somewhere along the way, and everyone thinks they're untouchable until the moment they realize they're not.
That's real. So walk me through this particular client, the one from that night on the 405. How'd you end up working for him in the first place?
Client was a rapper, mid-tier kind of dude, had a few hits that got some radio play, but he was still trying to break into the big leagues. Called himself Peso, which, looking back now, should have been my first clue something was off with this dude.
When somebody names themselves after money, that usually means they chasing it harder than they got it, you feel me?
Facts, man. Facts. LA Elite assigned me to him because his last 3 drivers quit on him within 2 months. That right there should have told me everything I needed to know, but I didn't listen.
Hold up, 3 drivers quit in 2 months? Did any of them tell you why they walked away from the job?
One of them pulled me aside before I started, looked me dead in the eye and said, "This dude's gonna get you killed, brother. Walk away now while you still can." But I thought I knew better, thought I could handle whatever came my way.
Man, when somebody gives you a warning that direct, that specific, you gotta listen to that. What made you ignore it and take the job anyway?
The money, straight up. They was paying $1,500 a night, cash, which was way more than my usual rate, and I convinced myself that I was experienced enough, skilled enough, that I could handle whatever problems this client had.
That's the lie we tell ourselves in this business, though, that we can handle anything that comes at us until the day we can't. So what were the warning signs once you started working for him?
First week, I'm noticing all kinds of red flags that don't add up for a rapper trying to make it. We doing cash pickups from random warehouses in Pacoima at 2 a.m, no explanation given, just drive me here, wait in the car.
Pacoima at 2 a.m. for cash pickups? Nah, that ain't music business. That's something else entirely going on there.
Exactly what I'm thinking, but it gets worse. We having meetings in parking garages that last maybe 3 minutes tops. He gets out, talks to somebody through a car window, gets back in, and we gone.
3-minute meetings in parking garages, that's hand-to-hand transactions, that's people who don't want to be seen together. What else you noticing about his pattern?
Phones, man. This dude going through burner phones like they disposable. He'd make one call, have a conversation that's maybe 2 minutes, then toss the whole phone out the window while we driving. I seen him throw away probably 10 phones in the first 2 weeks.
Okay, so you got cash pickups, secret meetings, burner phones getting tossed. At what point did you start seeing surveillance on y'all?
About 3 weeks in, I start noticing the same cars showing up in different locations. Different models, different plates, but the pattern was identical. They'd pick us up, follow for a few miles keeping a specific distance, then disappear before we reached our destination.
That's professional surveillance right there, rotating vehicles so you can't pin down one specific car. Did you confront him about it?
Yeah, I pulled him aside after about the 5th time I spotted a tail. Said, "You got a problem I need to know about? Because people following us ain't random, and I need to know what I'm protecting you from."
What did he say when you asked him straight up like that? He come clean about what he was into?
Man, he laughed it off, tried to play it like it wasn't nothing serious. Said it was just rival rappers trying to track his studio sessions, trying to steal his sound before he could release new music.
Rival rappers? Nah, that's bullshit, and you knew it was bullshit the second he said it, right?
Of course I knew better, man. The way these people moved was too organized, too professional. Rival rappers send their homies to follow you. They don't send trained surveillance teams rotating vehicles with discipline like that.
So you're sitting on this information. Your client's dirty. He's got serious heat on him from professionals, not amateurs. Why didn't you walk away right then?
That's the question I ask myself every day after what happened. Why didn't I walk away when I had the chance? The money was stupid good, and I convinced myself I was smart enough, aware enough that I could see trouble coming and handle it before it became a crisis.
That's pride talking, though. That's ego making you think you invincible when you're really just as vulnerable as anybody else in the wrong situation.
You right, you absolutely right. That's the lie we tell ourselves in this business, that we can handle anything that comes at us. But the truth is, some situations you can't handle, you can only survive if you're lucky.
So take me back to that night, the night everything went down on the 405. What was supposed to be a routine pickup, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be simple, straightforward. Pick him up from a studio session in Burbank around 2 in the morning, take him back to his place up in the hills, maybe 30-minute drive with light traffic.
2 a.m., light traffic, should be the easiest run of the night. When did you first realize something was different about this particular trip?
We merging onto the 405 North from the Ventura Boulevard on-ramp, and that's when I see the black Escalade. Brand new, tinted windows darker than legal, no front plate, which is a violation, but also a tell that this ain't a regular vehicle.
No front plate is always suspicious because most people don't want to attract police attention, but certain people don't care because they got other things to worry about. Where's the Escalade positioned when you first spot it?
It pulls out right behind us from the same on-ramp, like it was waiting there specifically for us to show up. And I'm watching my mirrors real close now, doing the math in my head about distance and timing.
What's the math telling you at that point? You thinking coincidence, or you already know this is deliberate?
I'm thinking deliberate for sure, because they maintaining exact distance behind us, not trying to pass, not falling back, just staying right there like they shadowing our every move. That's when I know for certain we got a serious problem developing.
What's your client doing while you're watching this unfold in the mirrors? He notice anything, or he's still oblivious?
He's on his phone scrolling through Instagram or something, not paying attention to nothing around him. So I tell him straight up, we got a tail, black Escalade, professional. He looks back through the rear window, and I see his whole face change.
What kind of change we talking about? Fear, recognition, what's the expression telling you?
Pure fear, man. First time I ever seen fear in his eyes since I started working for him. His face goes pale, he drops his phone, and he says real quiet, drive, just drive. That's when I know he knows exactly who these people are.
So whatever debt he owed, whoever he crossed, they just caught up to him and he knows it. What do you do next?
I punch it. We in an armored S-Class, heavy as hell, but it can move when it needs to. I'm pushing 85, 90 miles an hour, weaving through the light traffic trying to create distance between us and them.
But that Escalade stays right with you though, right? They not falling back, they matching your speed.
Exactly. They staying right with us, and that's when I know the driver in that Escalade is trained, professional, not just some random dude chasing us. We doing 90 and they doing 90. Perfectly controlled, no panic, just methodical pursuit.
That's when they pull alongside you in the next lane, right? Describe that moment because that's when everything changes.
Yeah, they pull up alongside us in the number 2 lane, matching our speed exactly at 85 miles an hour. I can't see through the tinted windows, can't see how many people inside, but I'm watching that rear window like my life depends on it because it does.
And then the window starts coming down. What's going through your head in that exact second when you see that happening?
Time slows down. You know what I mean? Everything becomes crystal clear, and I can see exactly what's about to happen before it happens. The window's coming down, and I know I got maybe 1 second to make a decision that determines if we live or die right here on the 405.
1 second to process the threat, assess your options, and execute a response. That's insane pressure, man. What's the decision you make?
I don't think. I just react on pure instinct and training. I brake hard, like stand on the brakes hard, and we drop behind them instantly. Tires screaming, ABS kicking in, the whole car shuddering from the deceleration.
Smart move, get out of the line of fire by changing position. What happens next?
Soon as we behind them, I swerve hard across 3 lanes to the right, cutting off a Honda that lays on the horn. I'm trying to put distance and obstacles between us and that Escalade, trying to make ourselves a harder target to track.
But they adjust too, right? They not giving up that easy.
They adjust immediately, professional as hell. The Escalade cuts across the same 3 lanes right behind us, and that's when I hear it. Pop, pop, pop. 3 shots. Not loud, like in the movies, but sharp and distinct even over the engine noise and wind.
They shooting at you on the freeway doing 85 miles an hour? Where are the rounds hitting?
3 rounds hit the rear passenger side of the car, right where Peso's sitting. The armored glass holds, spiderweb cracks, but it don't penetrate. But the sound is like nothing you ever heard, like somebody hitting the car with a sledgehammer 3 times in rapid succession.
What's Peso doing when the rounds hit the glass right next to his head?
He hits the floor, curled up in the footwell, screaming like I never heard a grown man scream before. Pure terror, pure survival instinct taking over, all that tough rapper persona gone in an instant when real violence shows up.
And you're still driving, still trying to get away while rounds are hitting your vehicle. What's your next move?
I'm weaving through traffic now, using other cars as obstacles between us and them. The Escalade's trying to box me in again, trying to get another clean angle for a shot, but I'm not giving it to them.
How many other cars on the freeway at this point? You got witnesses, people calling 911?
Maybe a dozen cars total in our immediate area, and they all scattering now, trying to get away from the gunfire. I see brake lights everywhere, cars swerving, pure chaos developing around us as people realize what's happening.
So you got innocent people in danger now too, not just you and your client. That change your thinking about what you got to do?
It should have, but in that moment, I'm just in pure survival mode. Tunnel vision on getting us out of this alive. I see my exit coming up, Sunset Boulevard, and I make a split-second decision to take it.
You cut across how many lanes to make that exit doing what speed?
4 lanes, doing about 70 miles an hour, almost clip a semi-truck in the process. The truck driver lays on the air horn. Sounds like a train coming at us, but I make the exit and shoot down the off-ramp.
The Escalade can't follow you because of traffic, right? You thinking you're clear at this point?
Yeah, I'm watching them in the mirror. They trying to cut across, but there's too much traffic. They can't make the exit. I watch them blow past it, and I'm thinking, we're clear. We survived. We made it out.
But you weren't clear though, were you? What happens next that you didn't expect?
I take Sunset Boulevard heading east, trying to get into the residential streets of the hills where we can disappear, lose them in the maze of side streets and dead ends. But there's another vehicle already waiting at Fairfax. A gray Dodge Charger, engine running, positioned like it knew exactly where we'd come out.
Hold up, so they had a second vehicle pre-positioned? That means they knew your routes, they planned for multiple scenarios.
Exactly, man. We weren't being chased randomly. We were being herded into a trap. They knew if they pushed us off the freeway at sunset, we'd head east toward the hills, and they had somebody waiting there to cut us off.
That's next level planning right there. That's organization, not just some random dudes trying to settle a score. What do you do when you see the Charger?
I see the Charger pull out from the side street right as we approaching Fairfax, and I know they're trying to T-bone us at the intersection, trap us in the middle of sunset with nowhere to go.
So you gotta make another decision in a split second. What's the choice you make?
The light at Fairfax is red, traffic crossing perpendicular to us, and I make a decision that I'll regret for the rest of my life. I run the red light at full speed, maybe 50 miles an hour, blow straight through the intersection, hoping we can make it across before anything hits us.
You make it through clean or something happens in that intersection?
We make it through, barely, cars slamming on brakes all around us, horns blaring, pure chaos. I hear the crash behind me, massive, violent, metal on metal, and I look in the rearview mirror.
The Charger tried to follow you through the intersection and got hit, right? What did they get hit by?
Delivery truck, big box truck, T-boned the Charger right in the driver's side door, doing probably 40 miles an hour. The Charger spins completely around from the impact, comes to rest against a light pole, steam pouring from under the hood.
You keep driving though. You don't stop to check on anybody. You just gone, right?
Yeah, I keep driving, pedal to the floor, getting distance between us and that intersection as fast as possible. I take side streets through West Hollywood, constantly changing direction, making sure nobody's following us anymore before I head to the safe house.
Where's the safe house at? You got multiple locations pre-planned, or are you making it up as you go?
LA Elite has safe houses all over the city for exactly these kind of situations. I take him to one in Laurel Canyon, quiet residential area. House is owned by a shell company, no connection to the client or the company that anybody could trace easily.
What's Peso's condition when you finally get him to the safe house? He hit? He injured? What's his state?
Physically, he's fine. Not a scratch on him. The armor did its job. But mentally, he's destroyed. Shaking, crying, can barely walk from the car to the house without my help. That tough rapper persona completely shattered by real violence.
What do you do once you get him secured in the safe house? You calling LA Elite, calling the police. What's the protocol?
I call LA Elite first, tell them what happened, tell them I'm done, I'm out, I'm not working for this client anymore. Then I sit there waiting for the news, because I know that crash I heard was bad. Real bad.
When do you find out about the truck driver? How long before you learn what really happened in that intersection?
Next morning, it's all over the news. Fatal accident at Sunset in Fairfax. Delivery truck driver died on impact. 62 years old, been driving that route for 15 years, just trying to make his morning deliveries before sunrise.
Man, that's heavy. An innocent man doing his job, wrong place at the wrong time because of the mess y'all brought to his intersection. How'd that hit you when you saw the news?
It destroyed me, man. I sat there watching the news report, and I realized that man died because I ran that red light. Not the Charger driver who followed me, but the innocent truck driver who had a green light and never saw it coming.
That's a weight you carry different than anything else in this job, because it ain't a threat you stopped or a client you saved, it's collateral damage from your decisions. Did the police investigation connect you to the crash?
LAPD investigated the crash, investigated the shooting on the 405, pulled traffic camera footage, interviewed witnesses, but nobody got plates on our vehicle, nobody could ID us specifically, and the Charger driver wasn't talking to police about why he ran that light.
So the case goes nowhere, no arrests, nobody held accountable for that truck driver's death.
Case went cold in 3 weeks, filed away as an unsolved traffic fatality connected to gang activity. The truck driver became a statistic, a footnote in a police report, and that's what kills me the most.
Did you ever find out the truck driver's name? Did you look into who he was?
Yeah, I looked him up. Needed to know who paid the price for my client's mistakes. His name was Miguel Herrera. Grandfather. Had 3 grandkids, wife of 40 years, worked for the same delivery company his entire adult life.
That makes it real, makes it personal when you know the details like that. Did you ever reach out to his family, tell them what happened?
I couldn't, man. Couldn't face his family. Couldn't tell them their husband and grandfather died because I was protecting a rapper who owed money to a cartel. But I sent money anonymously, $15,000, hoping it helped with funeral costs or whatever they needed.
Money don't bring him back, though. Don't make it right, but at least you tried to do something. What happened to Peso after that night?
He went into hiding for about 2 months, stayed at different safe houses, didn't make any public appearances, completely off social media. Then he tried to restart his career like nothing happened, like a man didn't die because of him.
He just went back to business as usual? That's crazy, man. Did he ever pay the debt he owed to the people who came after him?
Never paid it, far as I know. The organization wrote it off as a loss, moved on to other business, but they sent a message loud and clear that they found him once. They can find him again whenever they want.
Where's he at now? Still trying to make it in the music industry, or he moved on?
Last I heard, he doing club appearances in Phoenix, small venues, still talking tough on Instagram like he's some kind of street legend. Still using the name Peso, still pretending like that night never happened.
That's disrespectful to Miguel Herrera's memory, to just act like none of it mattered. How did that whole experience change the way you operate, the way you vet clients now?
Changed everything, man. I don't take clients at face value anymore. Don't just accept assignments because the money's good. Now I vet every client personally before I agree to work for them. Background checks, financial checks, social media deep dives, everything.
What are you looking for specifically in these background checks? What are the red flags that make you walk away now?
Cartel connections, organization money, debt collectors in their recent history, legal problems that involve violence or threats. Any of that shows up, and I'm out. Don't care how much they're offering to pay me.
So you basically trying to know who wants them dead before you agree to keep them alive. That's the new standard?
Exactly, because I need to assess if this is a threat I can actually protect against, or if this is a situation where innocent people are going to die no matter what I do. Miguel Herrera taught me that lesson the hardest way possible.
You're still doing executive protection, though, still in the game after everything that happened. What keeps you in this line of work?
I stay in the game because when it's done right, this job saves lives, real lives, people who deserve protection, people who aren't bringing danger to everyone around them. But you gotta know which lives are worth saving and which clients are just dragging you into their grave with them.
That's real wisdom right there, earned through experience and pain. Have you had any situations since that night that reminded you of what happened with Peso?
Few times I've had potential clients reach out, and during the vetting process, I see the same patterns. Cash business, burner phones, surveillance, debts to dangerous people. And every time I think about Miguel Herrera and I walk away, don't matter how much money they're offering.
That's growth, though. That's learning from your mistakes instead of repeating them. Do you ever think about what you could have done different that night?
Every day, man. I replay that whole night in my head, thinking about the decisions I made, the split-second choices that led to Miguel's death. Could I have taken a different exit, different route, made different tactical decisions that wouldn't have put innocent people in danger.
But in the moment, you doing what you trained to do, what you thought would save your client's life. That's the impossible position we get put in sometimes in this work.
That's the truth, but it don't make it easier to live with. I saved a man who didn't deserve saving, and an innocent man died because of it. That's a weight I carry every single day, and it should be, because Miguel Herrera deserves to be remembered.
Lorenzo, man, I appreciate you sharing this story, being vulnerable about the mistakes and the consequences. This is the kind of real talk people need to hear about what executive protection actually costs sometimes.
Appreciate you giving me the space to tell it, Jay. If this story keeps one person from making my mistakes, from taking the wrong client for the wrong reasons, then it's worth telling no matter how much it hurts to relive.
For everyone listening, this is what executive protection really looks like when it goes wrong. It's not movies, it's not glamorous, it's life and death decisions at 80 miles an hour with innocent people caught in the crossfire.
And those decisions follow you forever, man. You don't just clock out and forget about it, you carry that weight for the rest of your life.
If you're in this industry or thinking about getting into executive protection, learn from Lorenzo's experience. Know your client, know the risks, know when the money ain't worth the cost, and know when to walk away before somebody dies.
That's the most important lesson right there. Walking away ain't weakness, it's wisdom, especially when you can see the danger coming before it arrives.
Lorenzo Banks, LA Elite Executive Protection, thank you for being here and sharing your truth with us, brother. This conversation was real, it was heavy, and it was necessary.
Thank you for having me, Jay. Appreciate you creating the space for these kind of conversations that people need to hear, the ones that don't get told enough in our industry.
For everyone listening, subscribe to The Protection Perspective wherever you get your podcasts, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone in the security industry who needs to hear Lorenzo's story. Next week, we got another story that'll make you rethink everything you know about venue security and how quick things can go from routine to life-threatening. Until then, stay safe out there, stay aware, and remember that the best fight is the one you never have to have. Before we go, I gotta ask you something that's been on my mind this whole conversation.
What's that?
Did you ever reach out to Miguel Herrera's family after everything went down, or was that something the lawyers told you to stay away from?
Man, that's the hardest part of this whole story. My attorney told me absolutely no contact, said anything I said could be used against me in the wrongful death lawsuit that was coming. But I wanted to, Jay. I wanted to so bad.
That's gotta eat at you, not being able to even apologize or express what you're feeling.
Every single day, brother. I wrote letters that I never sent, practiced what I would say if I ever got the chance. The lawsuit eventually got settled out of court. Insurance company paid out, but I never got to look his wife in the eye and tell her how sorry I was.
That's brutal, man. Do you know anything about what happened to his family after?
I know he had a wife and 2 young daughters, and I know the settlement money probably helped them financially, but it don't bring their father back. I've thought about reaching out now that the legal stuff is done, but honestly, I don't know if that would be for them or for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes we want forgiveness for ourselves when the other person just trying to heal and move on.
Exactly. And that's another lesson I learned from this whole situation. Not everything deserves closure. Not everything needs to be tied up in a neat bow. Sometimes the weight you carry is the price you pay, and you don't get to put it down just because it's heavy.
That's real wisdom right there. What about Carmine Russo? What ended up happening with him after all this?
You ain't gonna believe this, but about 6 months after the shooting, Russo got picked up by the feds on racketeering charges. Turned out they'd been building a case against him for years, and all my concerns about who he was, they were right on the money.
So your gut was telling you the truth the whole time?
Yeah, and that made it worse in some ways, knowing that I ignored every red flag, every instinct, every warning sign just because the money was good. I protected a criminal who's now serving 15 years in federal prison, and an innocent man died in the process.
Did you ever have to testify in his trial or anything like that?
Nah, the feds didn't need me. They had wiretaps, financial records, cooperating witnesses, the whole 9 yards. I was just the bodyguard who didn't ask enough questions, you know?
How did this whole experience change the way you run your business now, like day-to-day operations?
Everything changed, man. Now I got a whole vetting process that takes minimum 2 weeks before I even consider taking a client. Background checks, reference checks, financial transparency, the whole deal. And if anything feels off, if my gut tells me something ain't right, I walk away no matter what they're offering.
That's smart business and it's ethical business. What do you tell young guys coming into executive protection who just chasing the biggest payday?
I tell them exactly what I'm telling you right now. Your reputation is everything in this industry, and one bad client can destroy everything you built. I also tell them that the money you make ain't worth nothing if you can't sleep at night. If you can't look yourself in the mirror, if you got innocent blood on your conscience.
Preach, brother. You mentor anybody in the industry now?
Yeah, I got 3 guys I'm training right now, and the first thing I teach them ain't tactical skills or defensive driving. It's how to vet clients, how to recognize red flags, how to know when to walk away. The tactical stuff is important, but knowing who you're protecting is everything.
That's the foundation right there. Do you share Miguel's story with them?
Every single one of them hears the story in detail. I don't hide from it. I don't sugarcoat it. I tell them exactly what happened and what it cost. Some of them look at me different after, but the ones who stay, they understand the weight of this work.
That's powerful, man. You turning your biggest mistake into the most important lesson you can teach.
It's the least I can do, Jay. I can't bring Miguel back. I can't undo what happened. But I can make sure the next generation learns from my mistakes instead of making their own. That's my responsibility now.
Real talk, Lorenzo. This conversation been heavy but necessary, and I know it ain't easy talking about this publicly.
It never gets easier, but it gets more important every time I tell it. If one person hears this and makes a different choice, if one bodyguard walks away from the wrong client because of what I shared, then it's worth every uncomfortable minute.
That's the kind of leadership this industry needs, brother. All right, y'all. That's really it for today. Lorenzo Banks, LA Elite Executive Protection, thank you again for your honesty and your courage in sharing this story.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you, brother.
This is the protection perspective. Stay safe, stay smart, and remember that in this business, who you protect matters just as much as how you protect them. Peace.